The tiredness sleep can't fix. You went to bed early. You slept through the night. No alarms. No interruptions. And still, you woke up tired. Not the kind of tired that stretches out of your muscles. Not the kind that disappears after coffee. This is something else. It sits there, quiet, unmoved. You tell yourself, maybe you didn't sleep enough, so you try again. Earlier nights, longer weekends, days off that are supposed to help, but nothing really changes. You rest, and the tiredness stays. That's when it starts to feel confusing, because rest is supposed to work. Sleep is supposed to fix this. And when it doesn't, you start wondering if the problem is you. Maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe your body is broken. Maybe you're just weak. But this isn't physical tiredness. Physical tiredness has edges. It has a cause. You move too much. You work too long. And rest pulls you back. This tiredness doesn't do that. It feels heavier, flatter, like carrying something invisible that never gets put down. You can't point to it. You can't explain it clearly. You just know that even after sleeping, you don't feel restored. You feel muted. And yet you still function. You wake up. You get dressed. You show up where you're supposed to be. You answer messages. You finish tasks. You say the right things at the right time. From the outside, nothing looks wrong. But inside, everything costs more. Small things feel heavy. Simple decisions drain you. Starting feels hard. Finishing feels even harder. You're not overwhelmed. You're not panicking. You're not falling apart. You're just worn down. And that's harder to explain because people understand burnout. They understand stress. They understand being busy. But this doesn't look like that. This looks like being fine. So when you say you're tired, they assume you mean sleep. They tell you to rest more, to take a break, to slow down, and you nod because you've already tried. Sleep repairs the body. This tiredness doesn't live there. It lives somewhere quieter, in the part of you that's been holding things together for too long. The part that learned how to keep going without stopping. The part that figured out how to function without being okay. This tiredness comes from carrying expectations, carrying responsibility, carrying emotions that never had anywhere to go. It comes from staying composed when you didn't feel stable, from being reliable when you felt empty, from telling yourself, it's fine, one too many times. And none of that shows up on a sleep tracker. You can't nap it away. You can't reset it overnight. So instead, you adapt. You lower your expectations. You shrink your reactions. You stop getting excited. Not because you don't want to, but because excitement takes energy you don't have. You stop feeling curious. Not because you don't care, but because caring feels expensive. Your emotional range narrows. Not sadness, not despair, just less. Less response, less spark, less depth. You're not numb, you're conserving. And people misread that. They call it laziness, disinterest, lack of motivation. They assume you've checked out. And after hearing it enough times, you start wondering if they're right. You start pushing yourself harder, trying to feel something again, trying to force energy out of an empty place. And when that doesn't work, you feel guilty because rest didn't help, because sleep didn't fix it, because you're doing what you're supposed to do and still struggling. What no one sees is how long this has been happening. Not days, not weeks, years. Years of being okay. Years of holding your breath and calling it normal. Years of adjusting instead of stopping. This tiredness didn't arrive suddenly. It accumulated, quietly, patiently, and now it's everywhere. In how long it takes you to start something, in how quickly you want to stop, in how neutral everything feels. You don't wake up dreading the day. You don't wake up excited either. You just wake up tired. And that's the hardest part, because there's no clear crisis, no obvious breakdown, just a steady erosion of energy, of interest, of emotional presence. You look back and realize you've been operating on less than full capacity for a long time. And no one noticed, because you never collapsed. You just kept going. That's why sleep doesn't fix this. Sleep was never meant to carry emotional weight. It can't release pressure that never left your system. It can't restore parts of you that haven't felt acknowledged. It can't replace what was quietly drained over years. This tiredness isn't asking for more rest. It's asking to be recognized, not solved, not repaired, just seen. Because nothing here is broken. Nothing failed. Your body did what it could. Your mind adapted. This tiredness makes sense when you look at how long you've been carrying it. You didn't miss something obvious. You didn't do life wrong. You just reached a point where sleep alone isn't enough. And that doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. It means you've been strong in ways that don't show. So if rest hasn't helped, it's not because rest is useless. It's because this tiredness was never physical to begin with. It's deeper than that, quieter than that. And now, at least, it has a name.